Hello everyone. So in this session we are going to start with the non-chordate phylums. So non-chordate phylums, there are actually 9 phylums are there. So after that we will learn about the chordates, how many phylums are there, which are the class names of all those chordates, and before starting the chordates, so primarily we are going to learn the characteristic features of non-chordate phylums. So here, as I told you yesterday, there are 9 phylums which we are learning in the first POC according to NCERT book. Okay, so the phylums are, let me write that phylum name. One is Poryfera, Coelenterata, Ctenophora, Platyhelminthes, Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca, Echinodermata. Echinodermata. One more is there, hemichordata. Hemichordata, actually it lies in between chordata and non-chordata. I'll tell you how. So first of all, we will start with the phylum Poryfera. Okay, so after learning all the characteristic features, remember the characteristic features and diagrams, they both comes under each phylum. Examples is very important. So some of in the previous question paper, they have asked to write the examples of some phylum. Okay, so don't neglect the examples, you have to learn that also with the characteristic features. Okay, so the first phylum what we are learning today is Phylum Poryfera. So this phylum, as we learned yesterday, some of the basic concepts, based on that the phylums or the distinguishing what classification has been made. So based on those concepts, and also based on and also with that, with the basic concepts what we learned yesterday, and also with that we are learning the habitat of this phylum animals, and we are learning some special characteristic features, if any it is there in the organisms, and then with that reproduction. The reproduction takes place either by means of sexual, or by means of asexual, or by means of both. So all these things we are learning in each phylum. Remember my word, what actually it is? All these are phylums, belongs to the kingdom Animalia, and they all comes under non-chordata. Okay, so don't confuse with these phylums name. Okay, and each phylum have more than 2 or 3 examples. So we'll start learning. So this is the first one. The first characteristic which I would like to mention here in the phylum Poryfera, they are commonly known as what? Sponges. Commonly, the phylum Poryfera, commonly known as, also known as sponges. Okay, this is the one important word, because sometimes they used to ask which is the common name for Phylum Poryfera. In that time, what you have to write? You have to write sponges. They are commonly found in marine water body. Marine water body, it means the habitat where they live in marine, or they live in oceanic water bodies. Okay, so and then next, they are, one is it is telling the habitat of Phylum Poryfera animals. The second one is, as I told you yesterday, the animals are asymmetrical in organization. The body is asymmetrical. Asymmetrical means what? Any of the plane cannot divide the body into two equal halves. The symmetry is absent. And then they possess cellular level of body organization. Body organization. Cellular level of body organization means what? The body is made of only some type of cells. Some type of cells, they form with one another and they give rise to, and they came into a position like some of them are cylindrical, some of them are round, and some of them are oval in shape. So when I draw the diagram, you will come to know how they look. Okay, and so this is little bit specific in the Phylum Poryfera. Just look at this. The Poryfera, they have a water canal system. They have a water canal system. What actually it is? Water canal system. Water is entering inside the body and water is existing. It is going to exit from the body. Okay, so how come, from where the water is entering inside the body? Just concentrate this point. The minute pores called ostia. Minute pores. Can you concentrate? Can you understand me? So on the body of the organism, consider. So this is the structure of one Poryfera, Phylum Poryfera animal. Okay, let me erase the phylum name so that you can concentrate only on the diagram. So this is the structure of cyclone. The cyclone looks like this, having cylindrical body and having minute pores on the body known as ostia. So these are all the, consider these are all the minute pores. Through this pore, water enter through ostia. Got it? And when it enter inside this body, where it will reach? It should have some place to transport from outside the body and to inside the body. So which system it has? As I told you, it has a very good water canal system. So that water canal system or that cavity is present. Consider, just imagine, I'm going to draw the transverse section of this cyclone body. Only this part is there, no. So in this part, what I'm going to show you, I'm going to show you the internal structure of the cyclone, how it looks internally, how the cells have been arranged, so that when the water enter inside the body, where it will go, how it is going to transport, and how it is moves out from the body. All right, let me complete this diagram. So consider each of the organ. So this is one cyclone body, no, this is also one cyclone body. Each body will be having the same structure, same internal structure, and when the water enter through this ostia, it reaches to a cavity. So this is the cavity. Cavity means a empty place. So that cavity, it reaches to that cavity is known as spongocele. Okay, so this is the thing is going to happen inside the cyclone. So the cyclone receives the water through the ostia, and the water is going to enter inside the cavity known as a spongocele. So this is the spongocele. Got it? The spongocele. So when this mechanism occurs in the body, water is entering through the ostia, and after reaching the spongocele, water moves outside through the osculum. So there will be an opening at the anterior position. That opening is known as, let me rewrite this. So consider this is the opening. Here there will be a number of spicules will be present. So this opening is known as Osculum. And okay, so through this osculum water moves out. So that is a small opening present at the anterior position. When the mechanism happens, the water system is going to flow inside the body and it is moving out from the body. Alright, so through this system, through this water canal system or through this water current mechanism, the food materials, automatically the food materials enter inside the body through this water. Food materials, whatever food to this cyclone, the suitable food material will enter inside the body, and the waste material removes from the body. And also from this technique, respiratory exchange takes place. Through the water current, gases also enter inside the body and exit in from the body. Okay, the food material, as I told you, the food material, if this body needs a microorganism or any of the algae or any of the material, if it wants to engulf through this water current, the water transport system, the food material, suppose the suitable food material enter through this ostia, it will engulf, it will digest it, and it will engulf and make it utilize, and meantime it will excrete the waste material. Once if it has engulfed the food material, it has to digest it. The waste material, whatever the waste material is excreting from that food material, that will move out through the osculum. So that is the thing you have to remember. Spongiocele is a cavity, food material, absorption of food material, just make the sentence like this: absorption of food material, respiratory exchange, in sense the gases, whatever the cyclone needs the gases, that is going to absorb through the water transport system, and it is going to exhale the unpolluted, the deoxygenated, unwanted gases. And removal of waste. This is going to happen when the water canal system starts, when this mechanism starts. When it is going to start? Right from the birth. When the cyclone body is about to develop, right from that stage itself, it is going to happen in the cyclone body. And the body skeleton is what type of skeleton do we have? You know better, the skeleton, the human skeleton, how our body develops the skeleton. As like that, the cyclone, it too has a skeleton. What type of skeleton does it have? It has a spicules, or so consider this as a 8-point spongin fibers in the type of skeleton. These spicules are arranged. This is the spicule, one spicule, one more spicule, and one more. Like that, spicules are arranged all over the body. Most of the spicules are at the anterior position, and those spicules act as a skeleton of the cyclone. Okay, so those are the spicules, or known as spongin fibers. You can consider this as a spicule is nothing but a fiber. And the 9th character is here. These are hermaphrodite animals. What does it mean? Hermaphrodite is the type of animal where it is going to synthesize both two type of gametes inside the body. What type of gametes it is going to reproduce? It is going to release. One is male gamete, or it is known as sperm, and female gamete, or it is known as egg. These both type of gametes are going to release from the single body known as a single body, or from inside the body. This type of modification is known as hermaphrodite. Yes, cyclone or whatever the animals are present in the Phylum Poryfera, they are hermaphrodite. Some of them are there. They are going to release the egg and sperm from the different cyclone body. But we used to say maximum of them are hermaphrodite. Okay. The reproduction takes place. Both by means of sexual and asexual. By means of sexual means what? Let me tell you one more thing here. This is the spongiocele, right? The spongiocele are lined by choanocytes or collar cells. So these are all the choanocytes or collar cells. Before this, before the reproduction character, just add this character. The spongiocele is lined by choanocytes or collar cells. So spongiocele is nothing but a cavity. So this cavity is lined by means it is covered by a type of cells known as choanocytes. This is one choanocyte, one more, like this number of choanocytes or collar cells lined to the spongiocele. Okay, so this is just an extra information what I am giving you. So consider a few of the choanocyte is going to release the egg or the female gamete. Consider here it is releasing the egg, somewhere from here it is releasing the sperm. Though this is a hermaphrodite animal, it is going to release both male and female gamete in the same body. Okay, so they both fuse with one another by forming a zygote. Whatever I am drawing in yellow chalk piece, no, it is just an extra information, but it produces egg and it produces sperm, that you have to mention in the characteristic feature. Okay, so the choanocyte cells releases the egg and some more choanocyte cells it releases the sperms. They both fuses and forms the zygote, and the zygote is, so after the zygote, which stage it comes? There it comes the embryonic development. Embryonic development is inside, or in simple words, how we can describe? The fertilization. Whatever the fusion occurs inside the body, and after that fertilization occurs, and all those process are going to take place inside the body. But some of the animals, some of the different phylum animal, the fertilization occur outside the body. Okay, so that is also one specific feature you have to mention here. So after this point, what you have to write? You have to write here about the reproduction. Reproduction is both by means of sexual and asexual. The fertilization is, so this is the point that you have to mention in sexual reproduction. The sexual reproduction, coming to the sexual reproduction, the fertilization is internal. Internal means what? Internal means the fertilization is taking place inside the body, but few of the animals, few of the different phylum animal, fertilization takes place outside the body. For that, how we can describe? Fertilization takes place externally, but here in this phylum the fertilization is taking place inside the body. Okay, that you have to mention here. Now coming to the 13th point, the 13th is character is development is indirect. Now what does it mean? Indirect means what? Indirect and direct meaning of these two words very much simple. Development means what? After the zygote formation, what should occur? After this, embryo should form and then it should reach to a similar form of parent body. So if it is giving rise to the same type of, same form of body which looks like to its parent, so it means the development is direct. But here what we have mentioned, development is indirect. Development is indirect means it is going to form a larva. Before forming this cyclone body, first it forms a larva which is somewhat, it doesn't look like a similar cyclone body, somewhat it will be like this. Okay, consider this larva. So this process is going to take place inside the body. When it forms a larval body, when it give rise to a larva, when the development for over up to this larval stage, these larva moves out from the body and outside the body, this larva again it forms a new cyclone body. So one stage and then one more stage and then one more stage, this type of different stages whatever we learned now, no, so these stages are known as this development is known as indirect development. Okay, so the larva, after the formation of larva, the larva releases from the body, moves out from the body. Okay, so that's why we used to call this as indirect development. The larva, it pretty much doesn't resemble to the adult stage. And so that's all about the sexual reproduction of cyclone. Coming to the asexual type of reproduction, asexually the cyclone or the sponges, asexually it reproduces by fragmentation. Now what does it mean? What do you mean by fragmentation? Without involving the male and female gametes, only single parent is more than enough for the fragmentation. So that type of reproduction is known as asexual type of reproduction. The fragmentation, it is as simple. Suppose the cyclone body, it just cut from this side and fall on other place there. From there also it is having the regeneration capacity, or it is having the capacity to regenerate into a new body, new cyclone body. Again from here also, from this place also, it can give rise to a new body part of cyclone. So that type of reproduction is known as fragmentation. Okay, few more examples will draw. Okay, so we will finish this characteristic features first, and later on I'll draw two more animals diagram belongs to the same phylum Poryfera. So the Poryfera, these are commonly known as sponges, and they are truly marine form, and the body is asymmetrical, and they have cellular level of body organization. A unique feature known as water canal system is present in the phylum Poryfera. Because of this water canal system, the food materials enter inside the body. The respiratory gases exchange takes place inside and outside the body, and removal of waste materials through the body also takes place because of this water canal system. How the water is entering inside the body? Through this minute pores called ostia, and it has a cavity, a body cavity known as spongocoel. Through the body wall, the water enter inside the spongocoel, and spongocoel. And one more thing I should add here. I didn't wrote about the osculum. The osculum is the opening of a spongocoel. So this is the osculum. Through this osculum, the water exit. So just add one more point here. And the next thing is, are you getting me? Are you okay? So are you getting my point? So osculum, so this is the opening of the cyclone body, which is present at this point, which is present anterior to the cyclone, and it is having a spongocoel, a cavity. Okay, so the spicules are the skeleton of the what is that? What is this? Cyclone. Okay, the spicules are known to be a skeleton not only in cyclone and also in the euspongia and those other type of porifera organisms. They also have the skeleton in the form of spicules. So those are also known as spongin fibers. And the body is hermaphrodite. It is going to release both male and female gamete. Male gamete are known as sperm, female gamete are known as egg. From where the egg and sperm are releasing? From the choanocyte cells or collar cells. The spongocoel is lined by some special type of cells known as choanocytes or collar cells. Now, the reproduce, the cyclone or the phylum Poryfera organism reproduce both by means of sexual and asexual. The sexual type of reproduction takes place by means of in the sexual type of reproduction, the fusion of female and male gamete takes place, and the fertilization is internal, and the development is indirect. First, it reaches the larval stage, then after that the larva releases from the body, and outside the body the larva develops and mature into a new cyclone, a new parental body. And one more thing I forgot here, the digestion is intracellular. Let me write for that. So consider this is the 15th point, but it should come somewhere here, no problem. Digestion is intracellular. Intracellular. Now intracellular means what? Intracellular is nothing but if consider this is a cell, inside the cell the digestion takes place. It is known as intracellular. So what is the important in that? In some of the phylum, upcoming next phylums, the organisms, in some organisms, digestion takes place in between the cell. In between the cell, maybe in between the cell, the digestion will takes place. Only to mention that specific character, we have to write here what we have to show, what we have to write the character in the Phylum Poryfera. In these type of organisms, in the Phylum Poryfera, the organisms, whatever the organisms comes under the Phylum Poryfera, the digestion takes place inside the cell, intra. If the digestion takes place in between, how we can call? We can call intercellular. Cellular means a cell, intra means inside the cell, inter means in between. Okay, don't write this, just make down this, write down this character. Digestion is intracellular. Okay, so this is all about the characteristic features of Phylum Poryfera. Now what we have to learn, we have to draw the two more animals belong to Phylum Poryfera. One is Euspongia, one more is Spongilla. So this is the Cyclone, so this is the Euspongia. Whenever I draw the diagram, just wait for a while. Let me complete the diagram first. Later on, you have to copy the diagram. The dots indicates the ostia, minute pores on the body. The name of this body is Euspongia. Euspongia. One more is Again the dot indicates the minute pores. Through the minute pores, water enter inside the body. The name of this organism is Spongilla. Okay, so you can write the and this is the substratum. And this is also a substratum. Onto that the body has been developed, and this is also a substratum. Onto that the body has been developed. So it means immovable organism. Okay, so this is all about the phylum Poryfera. Includes 3 organisms. In your book they have given 3 organisms name. One is Cyclone, second one is Spongilla, third one is Euspongia, and it includes number of characteristic features. And you have, if they ask you to write the characteristic features of Phylum Poryfera, no doubt this chapter is 5 mark. The weightage of this chapter is 5 mark. They'll ask about this. You have to write, if they ask to write the characteristic feature of Phylum Poryfera, you have to write all the characters. Okay, then only you'll get full mark. Thank you.